Hi Audrey, I'm in HD. So anyway, the last video you asked me what songs I've been jamming out to lately, so I thought I'd tell you. The first one up is, so let me just make this clear now, I like music not for the deeper underlying meaning behind the lyrics or for the message. I like it because it's fun to listen to. It's sort of like reading a novel without looking for the symbols or the underlying meaning behind the story. I mean, music is generally more straightforward anyway, so it's not really as big of a deal. I just don't listen to music like I read books. So, number 1, Angel with a Shotgun by The Cab. It's not as hickish as the name makes it out to be. Usually when I hear the term shotgun, I think of shooting at deer and wearing camouflage baseball caps. You know, like antlers and stuff. Something tells me that's not what they were going for with this song at all. Also, La La by The Cab, because it's catchy. Rocket Ship by Shane Harper, which I chose because it's catchy and it was between either that song or One Step Closer, which is another good song, but you know, I had to pick one and that one involved rockets, which is cool and I'm a geek, so there was no contest. Number 4, Disaster by JoJo. I think I might have actually heard this one while shopping in a Rue 21 sometime last year, but I didn't know what it was and I couldn't use SoundHound since I am without a smartphone, and I left the store not knowing what I was listening to, and so suddenly I found it on Spotify Radio and it was fantastic, and now I bought it and it is catchy and good to listen to. And finally, number 5, F*** You Over by The Somerset, which is actually a new song because it just came out on October 22nd, which was less than 2 weeks ago, so it's a new song and I'm really excited. Yes! It's a little more explicit than I'm used to, but I'm finding that the older I get, the less I care. So now back to real life. Looks like I've been sucked into doing Nutcracker again. Yay. For those of you who don't know, Nutcracker is probably the most excruciating ballet in the world of ballet, and it's done so many times every year to the point where it's the only ballet that non-dance people even know about, and so therefore it is painful to all of us who are even vaguely involved in dance. I'm doing Spanish, apparently with a guy named Rudolfo. I will see how this will go. Keeping you posted. Also, whenever I cut my hair, I thought to myself, hey, you know, this is great. I don't dance anymore, so I can have it short and I don't have to worry about putting it up in a bun. Well, yeah, just as soon as you think you're out, they're pulling you back in. So the other day I went to this thing in the library about banned books, because the last week of September is Banned Books Week, and although it was very belated, Randall Library decided to have this thing about banned books, so I went because it was cool and I needed a cultural event for my stupid honors thing. It was about different stories in North Carolina where books in libraries had been challenged. And most of the time, people who challenge books are parents who are trying to protect their children from, you know, content. So it was a panel, and they had the director of some libraries and some staff, faculty people. And the whole time they just talked about, like, intellectual property and libraries and the First Amendment. I really liked it because the title of their presentation was Something to Offend Everyone, and it was talking about how in a library there should be something to offend everyone because you're going for diversity of ideas here, and if you silence certain ideas and only allow people to hear other ideas, you're cutting off one half of the argument. You're silencing the reasons behind people's actions. People don't do stuff without a reason in this world. And although it's stuff that may seem crazy to us now, people who behaved in certain ways had a reason for it. Even if we think that it's a stupid reason now, this big, living, thriving collection of truth and knowledge for humanity, and as soon as you start censoring that, you lose that truth. Libraries which have limited budgets have to pick and choose which materials to include in their collections, and so they can't just go and take everything, so they have to find stuff with some sort of intellectual merit so that if someone does try to challenge the material, they can say, well, no, this was reviewed by people and proven to have merit. In college, it's mostly parents who are objecting to reading lists and things. A question was raised by one of the people at the event was who challenges readings in classes, like English classes and things like that. And the professor that was on the panel said that it was actually parents who did it more than students. Like, she taught a queer literature class, and parents were outraged by the reading list. Like, they didn't want their kids reading this at all, and their kids are adults. It's mostly parents trying to protect their children from the big bad world, which is an understandable and notable cause, but at the same time, if you start infringing on other people's ability to access certain content based on its controversial ideas, then you're really not contributing to an educated populace. I guess I will see you later, though I still need to come up with a segment, so what segment should I do? Because I really don't know. I guess we can swap stories, you know? So, suggestions.